Henry David Thoreau and the Power of Being Alone. In 1845, a young American writer named Henry David Thoreau made a decision that many people around him didn't understand. He walked away from society. At a time when success was measured by productivity, money, and social standing, Thoreau chose to live alone in a small wooden cabin near Walden Pond in Massachusetts. He wasn't running away from people because he hated them. He wasn't broken or depressed. He simply wanted something rare and precious, time to be himself. The cabin was simple, no luxury, no crowd, no applause. He grew his own food, fetched water by hand, and spent long days in silence. Many assumed he must be lonely. But he wasn't. In fact, Thoreau later wrote that he had never felt less lonely than when he was alone in nature. Each morning, he woke up with no schedule except the rising sun. He walked through the forest, observing leaves, birds, and the rhythm of life moving slowly and honestly. Without distractions, he began to hear his own thoughts clearly for the first time. And what he discovered surprised him. He realized how much of his previous life had been shaped by expectations that weren't truly his. He saw how people worked endlessly for things they didn't need, chasing approval instead of meaning. Alone by the pond, Thoreau learned that solitude is not emptiness, it is space. Space to think, space to breathe, space to grow. He wrote, reflected, and questioned everything. What does it mean to live a good life? How little do we actually need to be happy? Who are we when no one is watching? After 2 years, Thoreau returned to society, not weaker, but stronger. Not disconnected, but clearer. From that period of solitude, he wrote Walden, a book that has inspired millions around the world for generations. His time alone didn't isolate him from humanity. It helped him understand humanity better and understand himself most of all. Thoreau proved something deeply important. Being alone is not the same as being lonely. Loneliness comes from feeling disconnected from others. Solitude comes from being connected to yourself. And sometimes, the most meaningful growth doesn't happen in crowds, conversations, or noise, but in quiet moments where you give yourself permission to simply exist. Truth behind the lesson. Some of the strongest, clearest, and most fulfilled people in history didn't find themselves by being surrounded by others all the time, but by learning how to be peacefully alone.